So please, Will.
Okay, thank you very much, Tamer. Today's topic is, I think, is for number, and the title of the topic is the customers, users, and players. And we prepare a short presentation. Will be shown from Vesela Dicheva, my colleague. And interesting of this topic is that we discuss the customers, users, and the players. That's every one of the customers, users, and the players at the same time in the role of this situation of the ecosystems. Maybe I think it will be interesting for everyone. And my colleague Vesela Dicheva can start the presentation.
Hello, everyone. Today I will present the topic customers, users, and payers. The rapid development of technology provides members of society with the opportunity for consumer choice from a growing array of alternatives. When we make a reservation for our holiday on the popular internet platforms, within a few clicks, the roles of customer, user, and payers, making comparisons and choosing like a hotel, rent a car, taxi, the best for ourselves and make order, we are in the role of customers. Consuming what has already been chosen, we become user. By paying for what is chosen and what is consumed, we become payers. Regardless of the role, each client desires and demands immediate satisfaction of their unique personal requirements. They need to solve a specific problem, which is the most significant and with the highest priority of each client. The development of technology changes the current needs, desires, and requirements of clients, continuously increasing intensity, creating new ones. This poses significant challenges for entrepreneurs in ensuring maximum satisfaction for their customers. The satisfaction is important for achieving sustainable business development, strategic development of the business while considering social, environmental, and business interests. To meet these challenges, businesses and entrepreneurs are shifting from achieving successful sales to say increasing variety of customers' desires. Furthermore, entrepreneurs must be able to provide opportunities for the customer to manage their chances, effects, and in real time. The success of entrepreneurs in meeting these desires has its dimensions, with a key one being reaching a rich mass of active customers and partners capable of providing the driving force for achieving sustainable development. The necessity, a transition from an approach focused on sales of products and services to an approaches for sales to active customers. To satisfy the wide variety of identified and dynamically changing customer desires, the entrepreneur's ecosystem, well-balanced system effective from interacting suppliers and partners, which aims maximum satisfaction. The necessities adopting a holistic approach when starting and developing a customer-oriented businesses. To this approach leads to the establishment of business ecosystems oriented toward the customer. The ecosystem concept is borrowed from ecology, Where is it most commonly associated with cooperative organisms interacting in the environment to provide mutual benefit? These characteristics allow for an undrawn and transfer to the concept of business ecosystem, and especially to ecosystem oriented to customers. In these ecosystems, entrepreneurs, partners, and suppliers establish an effective symbiosis that ensures to the most efficient satisfaction of the wide and growing spectrum of customer desires. Achieving a high and consumer level of satisfaction for all customers leads to a rapid increase in their number as active users. The business ecosystems are adaptive systems capable of changing rapidly, making it difficult to define permissions, rules, norms, and frameworks for them. The adaptability of the ecosystem is due to its ability to freely realize, communicate, combine, and undertake joint and well-coordinated action by and between its participants. The possibility of unlimited combinations of resources, capacity, knowledge, and experience within the ecosystem provides the ecosystem with a wide range of opportunities to satisfy the desires of its customers. In this way, the ecosystem as a whole achieves higher satisfaction for each customer than each individual partner the ecosystem separately. Thus, the ecosystem manages to achieve a synergistic effect which transforms under the synergistically accumulated value, a value greater than the simple sum of values provided by individual participants in the ecosystem. Building consumer-oriented ecosystems. The process of building a consumer-oriented ecosystem largely maintains the logic of building subscribed businesses, but emphasize the following principles of building in the philosophy of the ecosystem, defining the framework of the ecosystem at present and a strategic aspect, formation of the portfolio of products and services satisfying customer desires, defining tasks, functions, and goals within the ecosystem, lean and scale up of the ecosystem. Questions maybe be interesting for audience. How do we define our customer ecosystem strategy and how do we deploy it? What is our ecosystem portfolio and offering logic? Who plays what role in a customer ecosystem, but how to integrate partners with one another? How do we set up a lean services development and a scalable platform business? Thank you. For more information, you can write personal emails to Svilen or me, and we can speak.
Super. Thanks a lot for this nice summary. So just to let the people know how things is working. Every week we have a lecture. This lecture is around 30 minutes or so, and this lecture I shared it already with you. I think Sunday or Saturday. So all of you have a long video that include like 30 minutes of full presentation. Also, you have link for the full material of this lecture. But what we are starting with the session is just like 5 to 10 minute presentation, like recap, like refresh our minds about the topic, and then we start to jump with discussion and things. So maybe I can if you allow me to like get some important point from your presentation. You highlighted the problem. So actually, this is second time to hear this point today. So today we had a meeting early with Adimbra Innovation, and they highlighted this again, that if you are opening a business, don't think about the solution, but all the time think about the problem of your customer. So all the time try to see who is your customer and what is the problem that you are try to solve for them. So this is very important point. And second, you need to make the customer happy. So you need to build a very good relation with your customer by maybe good team, good relation. Maybe you provide an excellent service, personal relation with the customer. For example, if your market is small or so, but you need to build a good relation with the customer in order to keep him or her in your business. Third point that you highlighted is something called real time. So this is like you need to make your business resilient in order to act on any unexpected event. So if you are working, for example, and there is one customer who come to ask you for something that you didn't expect or you didn't prepare, you need to have this flexibility in order to try to develop your solution to meet the need of the customer. So this is the 3 points that I got from here. So if we start to link today talk with the previous talks, so far we are working on the customer segmentation, the value that your business will give to the customer, and analyze the problem of the customer. So in few weeks from now, we'll start to go like how to value your product and how start to sell this product to your customer. So this is just to summarize a bit and try to link the topic of today with the previous topics, and then it's open for discussion.
Okay, Tamer. In the end of your speaking, we have some problems with sounds, but I think the common is okay. For customers, I think the problem is more important to discover the problem for the user, because maybe he don't know himself what's the problem. The customer have some needs, some problems, but the aim is the ecosystem is to describe these problems and to deliver the decisions for these problems on the short times and to deliver the full decisions for these problems. Exactly, if when we decide the problems of the customers and the users and the pairs, our customers, it's a good, and we make new clients and more active clients when we decide this their problems, I think. And for a situation, it's interesting when we have unexpected situation with our customers and their problems. Maybe it's interesting to discuss some techniques from the risk management when in the proactivity actions in this situation to predict the problems in the situation and to predict the deviation from some parameters and for some a new products, and I think it's good to discuss in the areas of proactivity for this situation. Exactly when we have a lot of clients and we have maybe we have a lot of problems. Maybe, and I think there's a good technique to use maybe the Pareto technique when we talk is from that 20% from the customers make 80% from the profit, and maybe we have to concentrate of this 20%, which would make a lot of profits and benefits for our business. We can decide everything to every client, and we can decide every problems of the world. But we have to concentrate our ecosystem in the more profitably decision for us. We can make a business usually, not only to decide every problems of the world, I think.
Yep. I completely agree that for our colleagues here who are starting to think about the customer segmentation, they need to think about, okay, the first segment should be the people who I think will pay for your product, because it's not there is no point to focus on customer who are maybe good, but he will not pay for the project. So you need to focus on the segment that will pay.
Maybe we have to concentrate on the more perspective clients, which have can develop this in the future to buy more products and from us. And we have to think about the potential of the customers in the future.
Yep.
I think it would be really interesting to understand from the participants on the call if any of them have had any experience identifying that the split between customers, users, payers, etc., and thinking more broadly around that customer segmentation. So is there anyone on the call who would be sort of happy to talk us through their process so far? And if not, I might go for Olga's tactic from last week of just trying to pick on a couple of people. And I know, Marina, last week you started to describe your concept. Would it be possible for you to give us a bit of an overview of your understanding of the different customer roles related to your startup idea?
I can try.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will try to share my screen. Maybe one moment. Okay.
Also, maybe after Maria, I think Ali as well. In Access Earth, they have also did some customer segmentation. I don't know if Ali is here. Maybe can hear or can share with us.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay. About customer, as I said last time, my idea of my startup, it's startup focusing on the production of a novel type of composite powders for thermal spraying of protective coatings. But it's not usual powders. It's powders for high temperatures with high heat and corrosion resistance. So we orient on the customer such as Ukrainian production companies in the field of space and aviation, gas turbine production, or transport, and such segment can be more wide, such as repair plants and so on. In the first line of our customer, it's Ukrainian production companies, but in the future, such customer segment may be much more wide, for example, for European countries. But first customer segment, it's Ukrainian production companies such as Motor Sich, Antonov plant, plant number 410, it's aviation repair plant, and other companies in such fields.
And I guess one question I'd be really interested to understand, in your context, from your understanding, is it the same person who acts as I suppose, the user and the payer within that customer framework? Or are they different roles along a specific value chain?
It's users of such powders. It's companies which can be interested in such powders because currently such companies, such production plants use very similar powders in their production.
Okay,
Olga?
perfect.
If I may jump in here, but if we think in terms of the people, the exact people within those entities, those plants, those who use the powder and those who pay for the powder and decide which powder to buy, are they the same people or are they different? So to sell it to the plants, will you approach the users of the powder? Will you approach the CEOs, the chief production officers, or?
Yes, I understand. I should mention that such aviation enterprises are very specific in view of safety of production and so on. So firstly, we should approach users. It's the department, for example, for protective coatings, it's engineer to test such powders, for example, and then we can approach
They will advocate your powders.
Yes, before can promote our powders to their directors, for example, who will decide to pay or not to pay.
Okay, clear.
I have a question here. I don't know if Dr. Muhammad and Ola has a question on this presentation or have a new point to present. If it's it's new point, maybe I can just jump here. You show here the customer segmentation, Ukrainian production companies, space agents, gas turbine, and transport. So will you start to sell your product to all of them once, or you will start with segment by segment? Like, for example, you will start with Ukrainian production companies, or go to transport first, and then after 1 year or 2 years, you will go to the next level.
Thank you for the questions. I think we should start to work with the companies in which I have good relations with engineers. And I have some contacts with such companies, so I think we should start with contact with such companies such as Motor Sich. It will be much more easier for us to contact and to discuss those questions. It's Motor Sich, it's aviation plant Antonov, for example, and then when we will have success with such companies, it will be much more easier to get in touch with other companies.
I think this is a good strategy because you are building reputation with companies that you have good relations, so you will have access somehow to them, and then you start to understand the problem in more detail, and then you start to get reputation, so you can go to other customer, other segment, and you already aware of most of the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yep, this is good.
There was one last question which I had, which I think was slightly tied to Olga's question in terms of the users and the payers being different. And I think you made it clear that the first approach is to those who will use the powders, and that they can advocate to senior leadership to
Yes.
actually buy the powders. But I wondered, do you think you need to have a different approach for both the user sales pitch and the leadership sales pitch?
Maybe yes, because for leadership, I think last week I have some I did some changes in value proposition. It's lower price of the composite powders in comparison with commercially available powders, for example. And I think it could be different strategy in talking with users and leaders of such companies. For users, it's much more important the properties of such powders, how it behaves in production. But for leaders, lower price will be one of the advantage.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree.
Yep,
Thank you.
good. So I don't know if there is any comments here on this startup of Mariana. Okay, so now I can see Dr. Muhammad, he was raising his hand first, and then Ola, so maybe we can go to Dr. Muhammad.
Okay. Okay, friends. Okay, I will start to share my idea at the beginning. Excuse me, just. Is it the screen is clear for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I will start with my idea at the top. The idea is to validate geological raw materials for renewable energy storage industry. It means if we start with the very top, we have already ores and raw materials in the desert and the mountains, but not all of them can be used as sources for this industry. I mean that we need to know and to detect which raw materials are suitable to produce this storage at the bottom of the slide. If you can see this storage is called supercapacitor. Our idea is to detect the raw material and then to make it suitable for the industry. This passes from purification, and then characterization and preparation of what's called electrodes as the main component of the supercapacitors, and to detect the electrochemical specification of these electrodes, and then we can or we will have materials ready to be used in this industry. That's our idea. If we talk about the business model canvas, the second part of the slide, first, if we consider the customer segments, we can talk about two aims. I mean, if we supply the material as a material suitable for the industry, so we can detect the customer as a metal export companies only. But if we extend our work for the industry, we can validate the material for factors which fabricate the supercapacitors of such storage, such as air conditioner factories, factories of electric vehicles, factories which fabricate wearable electronics. I mean, such as smartwatches, clothes, which use such supercapacitors. Also, we can validate the product to factories which fabricate weapons, particularly in aerospace and aviation. So the customer can be segmented, as you know. That's the first part of the canvas. Then, if we examine the value propositions, we can find that these storage or supercapacitors are eco-friendly, as it depends on materials that cannot radiate toxic in the air and in the soil. So it is eco-friendly. Also, this material can be recycled. So we can make use of these materials more than one time. So it will be eco-friendly. Second, just the second value is save for the electricity, as it discharge a small amount of electricity, not such as batteries or so on. Then it save money, and of course it will solve power supply shortage, as it save a lot of power. It can be charged in short time, and then it will solve the problem of power supply. That's considering the value propositions. If we talk at the third part, channels. Channels will depend on personal relations between us and the market. It will depend also on marketing agency. The relation with the Geological Survey Authority, as it's the authority responsible for the ores, is one channel. Also, other authorities responsible for controlling and monitoring raw materials should be considered. Concerning the fourth part, customer relationships. The customer relationships, I think, it depends on dedicated personal assistance. Not fully automated, so it depends on personal assistance. Also, it will depend or it will be engagement through marketing system and feedback system. The fifth part, considering revenue system, it will be, revenue streams. It will be through advertised pricing revenue upon just receipt the goods, the revenue will be streamed. Considering the sixth part, the key resources. The key resources, it includes three things. It includes ores suitable for the industry, or raw materials suitable for this industry. Then equipments for purification and make sure that the ore suitable for the industry. And finally, you have to characterize or specify the purified material for the market. So you have three keys. Considering the key activities, of course, you have to extract or query the ores from the mountains. It begins with querying of ores suitable for the industry, and then you have to purify and extract minerals which are suitable for the industry. And finally, you have to specify these minerals for the customer or for the market. Number 8, the key partner. It depends on the partner will be international or local authority. But all of them should include quarries, specialists in purifying raw materials, and finally labs for electrical specification for supercapacitors. Then concerning the cost structure, depend on three segments, including extraction and purification equipments, the first segment, then sales and marketing, and the third one is the salaries. So these all segments or parts of the model canvas of our idea, of our proposed startup. So thank you.
Thanks, Dr.
Thank you for
Mohammed. Yeah, maybe Rory, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you very much for that overview. And I'd be interested to know sort of a similar question that we asked Marina would be just in your context, is there a split between who the user of the product or service is and the buyer? And in the case that there is that split, what do you have a defined process for how you would approach each different user or buyer?
Mm-hmm. Actually, not yet. But we of course know who will buy the product. It depends on what's the product. I explained that the product could be purified material for the industry, or you can extend your plan to be fabricated or manufactured material. So if our plan will go to just to sell purified material, we can connect with companies for exporting material outside Egypt or something like this. If we decide to go with the industry, we have to communicate with factories which use this material in their industry. For example, electric vehicles or and so on.
And I suppose building on that, so the first thing would be to understand, do you have a view? So I think you said it depends on which product we're looking at.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
dictates which customer we would want to engage with. Do you have a view of which product delivers the most value or has the potential to deliver the most value? I think Svilin mentioned earlier the classic rule of 80-20, where you can have 20% of customers delivering 80% of value. Do you have an idea of where that main value is coming from to then inform the focus for your customer?
Yeah, of course. We have already made our or the required tests and experiments, and we have already detected some ores that can be, or raw materials that can be used for this industry. But now we have to detect which directions can we go through. I mean, if we just decided to connect with authorities to take these materials for exporting or for industry. So now we didn't decide yet, but we connect with some authorities to decide in which shape the material will be delivered.
I have a question related to this. Do we have in Egypt manufacturer to work and produce super capacitor from this material?
Tamer, I think we have, but
okay.
Unfortunately, me and my team I'm not able to connect them till now. Okay. But you mean not supercapacitors in its final shape? If you our material are part of what's called electrodes. Electrodes is a small part, but the main or the most important component of supercapacitor. So our aim is to manufacture the electrodes, not the supercapacitor in its fine shape. You know, electrodes are just pieces in the supercapacitors, but the most important and the most cost. It reaches up to 71% of the whole cost of the supercapacitor. So I think in Egypt we have such factories which are specialists in such industry, but not the whole supercapacitor.
So you are thinking in two ways, and if I understood correctly, you are thinking either to reach to companies that export the material.
That's one
yeah.
of our choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the second,
we didn't decide yet.
Yeah. Or the second, to sell it to one of these companies that are produce not the full supercapacitor, but the electrodes.
Yeah. but it depends
So in
on
both cases, your market is in Egypt.
maybe I think I think if we decide to deliver the product the raw material to exporting companies, I think it should be in Egypt. Should be in Egypt according to the rules of exporting and so on. But you know, in Egypt, many multinational companies, maybe from Italy or from France and so on. But if you decide to deliver the material for industry, I think you can think of both. May you decide to talk with companies outside Egypt to come to Egypt to invest in such material for the industry, not only for exporting.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So if there is any question for Dr. Muhammad now?
My last question was, so if you have those two different groups that you're considering, how are you planning to decide which avenue to pursue between sort of the industry and the exporting approach? How are you going to decide which one to take forwards?
It depends on how to remove the obstacles and yeah. If of course if we could reach to the industry, it will be much better for us and for the economy and so on. But if we found some obstacles, we will decide to go to the shorter way, just directly to the exporters.
Yeah, maybe I put a context here, Dr. Muhammad, to Rory and other people who are not Egyptian. In Egypt, there is a lot of things under table. So maybe there is someone who is like, you know, at high level in the government who has share in one of the companies, and then he start to put few barrier for you in order not to jump to the market, because simply he has share in this company. So maybe this is what's mean by Dr. Muhammad, that according to the situation, right? Maybe, yeah, okay. Good. So if there is no question, you can go for Ola.
Okay, so there's no question. Now let me show just my document. It is okay. Okay, so the previous week I presented the business model canvas in the same manner as it was done by Marina Storozhenko. In my case, my idea was the design for agro-geothermal startup, which was about the implementation of geothermal energy in the fields. In order to use the space we have to install geothermal heat exchangers and to produce heat needed in other agricultural sectors. Yes, so there I made the customer segments, relationship between customers, key partners, and so on. But maybe if you allow me, I would like to pay attention to other parts of our homework, which was connected to customer development. And I have contacted Dr. Olga Voropai about how to do it, and I was told that it can be just a short text made into the following steps. Like, for example, whenever we think about this geothermal energy heat exchanges in agriculture, we should use what customer segment or persona we need. In this case, it can be at first progressive farmers who are interested in sustainable practices and maximizing the potential use of their land. Then there should be some sort of customer jobs to be profiled, and what kind of could be their customer pains and benefits. And in short, that kind of information should be provided in the way of value proposition, in which we should show what kind is our value proposition, which shows what kind of our gains as creators, what pain we can solve for our customers, and what kind of products can we produce, and what kind of gains is for our users. So the main analysis of such idea shows that our customer should be the one who wishes to reduce his reliance on fossil fuels and who wishes to decrease the carbon footprints when he chooses our geothermal energy solutions instead of potential fossil fuels. And our solution can solve the possible things. Like, for example, if the person worries about environmental impact of conventional fossil fuels or the high energy costs, such renewable energy solutions can help to decrease that. And whenever we speak about the installation of it, there is a whole spectrum of products. For example, while originally the idea was about geothermal heat exchangers, there is a need to provide a number of services, like, for example, installations and integration services, monitoring and maintenance services, consultation on energy efficiency, and even training and support to farmers if we provide them renewable energy solution in that sphere. So I would like to make it rather short, and here maybe some remarks on that proposition.
That's really interesting. Thank you very much. I have one question on your your target customer market. So you've said progressive farmers, and I would be interested to understand: are you targeting independent farmers who sort of are, I suppose, at the same time the user and the buyer, or are you also interested in large-scale industrial farming organizations where the farmer might actually be very, very different from the buyer?
Well, I would say that I would prefer to follow the both. I like small farmers as well as big, can also mean big companies. However, it's a question of how much the production of such geothermal heat exchangers is scaled. For example, if we speak about small farmers, it's usually something that is associated with high costs. But with any technology, at first, such technology can't be cheap, like producing this geothermal heat exchangers. And while this production isn't scaled, it can be seen as more productive to work with small farmers. And if you have good results, you can scale the technology and propose better solutions for bigger companies, like that.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you. Tamer, did you want to jump in?
Yeah,
I
have one comment, maybe question, because the answer was the target can be both, like, you know, the small and the bigger farmer. So did you think about the market segmentation? So maybe at the first step, when you start to sell out your product now, you will go for the smaller because maybe it's easy to reach them, or it would be much better to go to the bigger, or did you consider this two type of segments or two type of customer as two different segments that you bought this segment I will reach out when I start my business, and then this segment I will postpone it in 1 year or so?
No, I haven't yet to make the detailed analysis, but I'm really thankful to you for that, for pointing me that out. And maybe next time I'll try to divide the categories of those farmers and to see how the strategy can change depending on what type of customer, but by its size and revenue, I should follow if I found if I found the interest, because it's really hard at such point to know how it can go first. Because, for example, if there is interest from smaller companies, there is one way to develop. If there is interest from bigger companies, there is another way to develop. So you're right, it would be rather it would be an advantage to develop several sub-strategies depending on the size of the customer. You're totally right with it.
Yeah, good. I very happy with this presentation, because you even present like business plan, like start to build the business plan itself. Yeah. Sophie?
Yeah, just wanted to add on this that maybe you don't need to wait to try your product out. So basically, don't wait too long till you have the right customer, the right segment. Just find someone to then demonstrate that your technology or your product work, so that you can build on that. So you can, you can then confront your assumptions of like, well, this is my customers for sure. But actually, if you find someone willing to test, if you manage to grab some attentions from some potential customer, whoever they are, then you can build on the learnings that they will give you, and then you will refine your users and your segment. So don't wait too long. People tend to wait too long until they try to put it out there. So yeah, just don't wait. Just find someone to try it and then build on that.
Okay, thank you for your advice.
And maybe also this is the same advice to Dr. Muhammad as well. Like, if you already have the material that you would like to sell, maybe you can start now to approach people to try, not sell, but just giving them some sample to test and see what their feedback. If they are happy, they have some comments, and maybe they will be the potential customer in the near future.
Yes, it's exactly that. Most people wait too long to go to market, but actually just try with, even if it's only with one person or two people, just try to build feedback from those people who use your product, because then it will help you first refine your product, refine your client base, but at the same time, it will give you some really important data or information on your product and how you can develop it and sell it.
May I just clarify one thing from your advice? You
Yes.
say that you should try to develop your idea as fast as possible. That's right. But at this point of time, it's like, for example, while I have been working with some companies which produce bread, and I remember that the first question that I have ever gotten was, what is payback period? And usually companies want that payback period to be as low as possible. But if we talk about terms, it's usually like 2-3 years, not more. Like any thing with payback period loan than that, it's not viable. However, there's ideas like, for example, there's one more thing. We need to create that kind of equipment. And in order to create that kind of equipment, there is need for some investment or, for example, some grant that could either 100% compensate us, or at least partially compensate us the probability of such equipment. Or maybe this kind of idea, well, there is the idea, is that it should be patented, it should be consulted, there should be some consultations with companies, because how we see the application of a technology, it can be different from what companies may wish, and maybe there would be need for modification of that according to the needs. But the most important is how to find money to create, let's say, the first experimental prototype. Because the more prototypes are done, the cheaper is the process. But it's rather hard to find money for that first step.
Okay, yeah. The first thing really to concentrate is try to demonstrate that your technology actually can work. So really, even if you have something really basic and really simple, without the ground design that you maybe envisage later on, but really at a very small scale, even thinking for you, for example, do it like an architect will build something on a table. So just do it at a tiny scale, just to demonstrate the technology works, without going into too much details, without revealing any secret of the way your technology works, but so that you have a demonstrable first product. And from then on, people will be interested to see, oh, right, okay, well, he makes it work at this tiny scale. So hopefully we can be interested in seeing it at a bigger scale. It is just to start gathering interest and to demonstrate that it can work. And it will change. Your business will change over time. Any business that grows, their products totally adapt and change over time. But you want to show that, yeah, your idea and your technology is a viable business idea because it works. So that's what that's kind of what you want to demonstrate, and you want to demonstrate that soon, so then you can attract investment, because when you show that it works on a tiny scale or with one customer or with one idea, then people go, oh, that worked for them, let's give them a bit of money and see if it works for someone else or something different, some bigger company.
Okay, may I just ask you one more question? Is it worth, for example, to discuss that idea, for example, at agriculture exhibition like that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it is worse. Absolutely. And what you do is you don't reveal any secret, like how your technology actually works. You discuss your idea. This is what I'm proposing to do. Is it something that you will be interested in? And that kind of relationship feedback gathering will be very valuable for you, because you might find out that when you start discussing your idea, they go, no, but that, or da will be very interesting. And then you go, oh, all right, okay, didn't think of that. And that this kind of customer feedback is what will help you test your assumption. Because at the moment you made that assumptions, so going and discussing those assumptions is vital to develop the right prototype and the right product.
Okay, thank you very much. For your advice.
Good. So
Welcome.
thank you very much. I don't know if there is any more question for Ola or not. Okay. If not, actually, we in our plan that we should get another presentation which by Ali, but we already over the time now. So and I know that Olga would like to meet people from Ukraine after our meeting, so it will be too long. So maybe next week we'll start with Ali and Hasib, because I got 2 requests from Ali and Hasib to present. So maybe Ali and Hasib, and then we will go further with the presentations. Second, do you think I will send actually something like not Doodle, but like a question in my email by this weekend, if you would like, because now I can see we have like 35 person in the room, and most of you would like to present your idea and discuss your idea, and maybe one room is not suitable to have this. So maybe this question will be mainly if you would like to stay in one room and present and discuss in one room, or it will be much better for you to split in 2 groups, for example, in 2 breakout rooms, and then by this way we will have more space to present more ideas. So please answer my question to say yes or no, what you are preferring. The third point that I can see today that the majority of you, like Dr. Muhammad and Ola and every one of you actually already present, yes, Sophie, already present like business canvas or business plan. So it will be great help from you if you uploaded this to our website. I showed to you previous that it's easy peasy. If you like, I can share it again with you. It's one-step process. Maybe I can share my screen and just to show you how to do it. You see my screen now? Yep. So Seed Plus. If you go to Seed Plus, the venture creation program, this is the link that I am sharing with you normally to have the material. And if you go down at the bottom of the page, you will have this tab, upload your homework, exercise, business plan, and presentation. And what you need is just pick the file that you would like to share with us and drop it here. And in 1 second you will find it here. So all of us can have a look at what you produced and can comment. So actually this is will give us a space to see what you produced, but also to other colleagues to see the progress and can comment on your plan. Yep, and last point, maybe I can stop sharing. Sorry, my internet. Are you hearing me or? Yeah. Okay. You use me, right?
Yes, yes.
Good, super. So also in this email that I will send over the weekend, I will send you a link for registration because as you know, in the 23rd of April, we will have a separate event that is related to our program. It's called Post Camp. And in this Post Camp, we have 5 physical events. So if you are in Ukraine, you will get a place in Ukraine to meet your colleagues. If you are in Tromsø, you will meet our colleagues from Tromsø. It will be like 3 days event to meet each other, to meet, we will invite people from outside the university to just join. I don't know if there is colleague here from Turkey or not, but Varna as well, you will have this event in Varna. The similar event will be in Turkey. And for our colleagues from outside these cities, you have the ability to join us online. And this will be a hybrid event. So actually, the in-person meeting here in Tromsø, for example, the event will be streamed online. So all the groups will see each other. So I will send this registration link as well in this email. So please do the registration in order to know exactly who will join online, who will join on site. And the last point that I would like to ask our colleagues from Ukraine to stay here. And Olga, I think, would like to ask them or to have something with them.
Yeah,
Right?
thank you.
Good. So thanks all. I will leave now, and I would like to ask everyone not from Ukraine to leave. Good. Bye bye.
Okay, bye
Yeah,
bye.
and by the
Consider
way,
us to be rude.
yeah,
Bye.
by the way, just not to forget, actually tomorrow we will have a very interesting grilled session leader, Muhammad. He is the winner of Change the Maker prize at the European level. And he create a startup that produce bioplastic. So it will be very, very interesting session tomorrow. And please prepare your question for the startup owner and ask him. And please ask him even hard question, no problem. Just they are here to give us their experience. So see you tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye. See you.
Bye-bye.